I started off by cutting the board in half. And because all the edges on this board are rough, wavy, and I don't own a joiner, I used my track saw to rip a nice straight line on the boards. Don't have a track saw? No problem. You can also use your table saw if the board is pretty close to being straight and just kind of run it along the fence. And now that I have a straight line ripped on those boards over there, I'm going to glue them up together into a larger panel. And I'm going to try something new. I'm going to use this Titebond Quick and Thick just because it dries faster and I want to keep working today. The description of Quick and Thick was no joke. This stuff doesn't run at all and it started setting up really fast, so just be aware of that if you try it. However, it gives a really satisfying squeeze out. So there was a slight change of plans last night. I used that Quick and Thick glue because I wanted to come back out and continue to work on this, but I ended up getting tacos instead. So anyway, I got this out of clamps this morning and the panel glue up looks perfect. The only thing is, this board's about 3/4 of an inch thick, which is gonna look really big and chunky for a dice box, so I'm gonna run it through the planer and bring it down to right about a 1/2 inch thick. If you're interested in this flip-top tool cart that I made last week, I'll have a link to that video up in the cards and in the description below, and you can find the step-by-step plans for it there too. And speaking of plans, now's a good time to tell you that I have full plans as well as a SketchUp file for this dice box available for you too. Those plans have all the relevant dimensions that you need and walk you step by step through building these projects so you can be confident that you're doing it correctly. So that was my first time running any hardwood through the upgraded helical head on my planer, and I have to say that I was just shocked how good it worked. But anyway, you probably don't care about that, you probably care about the next step, which is ripping this panel down to its final width. Now, after gluing up that panel, the ends of my board are a little bit rough, so I'll first square them up on my crosscut sled and then pull out my miter gauge. So over here on my miter gauge, I have a setup that I really like to use. What I'll first do is I'll make one stop block here that's going to be for the short side of the box. Now this stop block can flip up, and then I have another stop block right over here that'll account for the longer side of the box. Then I can alternate back and forth between cutting the short side, a long side, a short side, and then one more long slide. I started by cutting the long side of the box, then flipping down the stop block, and then my camera died. Just my luck, but I think you get the point. Now I want to join the edges of this box together with some miters, and just to kind of show you something different, another technique, I'm going to use my router table today. Over at the router table, I grabbed a 45-degree chamfer bit and popped it into the collet. I can then slowly run each edge across the router to get a perfect 45-degree cut. Now you're probably thinking, Eric, don't you get a ton of tear out when you do it that way? And yeah, you do, but it's nothing that running the piece through a table saw to trim off about 1/8 of an inch can't solve. Before moving on to the next step, let's jump into SketchUp really quick so you can understand the next few steps of the build. So here's a rendering of what I want the dice tray to look like. I'm sure I'll mess something up and it won't look exactly like this, but this is what I'm aiming for. So I just cut those 45-degree miters on all the corners so the box will fit together nicely. But the next thing I need to do is cut a dado in the bottom of each side panel that will hold the bottom panel in place. Now, you're probably wondering why the bottom panel has a hole in it, right? Well, that's because I want the foam padding to be removable and replaceable, just in case it ever gets messed up. The little hole will allow you to easily remove it. The very last thing that I want to do is cut a little foot detail, just to spice up the design of the box, but you could definitely skip this if you don't like it. And I'm sure you're tired of watching animations, so let's get back into the freezing cold garage and make some more sawdust. Now that I'm back in the shop, I'm going to start off by making the dado to hold the bottom panel in place. After making that initial cut and letting the blade stop, I could slide the fence over just enough to widen the dado until it was the perfect size for the bottom panel to slide in.
A quick dry assembly to make sure everything fits correctly, and I can move on. Oops, I almost forgot to drill the finger hole in the bottom panel. Done. You've probably seen me use this technique before, but in order to save a little bit of time and help get these pieces to be identical as possible, I'm going to tape them together and then mark out the foot detail that I want. And you can really do whatever design you want here, but this is the area that I'm looking to remove. I set up a large dado stack in the table saw, and while I make quick work of removing all the excess wood, I want to take a second to thank my Patreon supporters for helping make these unsponsored videos possible. These folks are some of my biggest contributors to helping me keep this channel alive, and as a thank you, they get exclusive merchandise like stickers, t-shirts, and sweatshirts that aren't available anywhere else. If you'd like to support the channel, check out all the rewards that I have for you over on Patreon and see if it's right for you. But as always, there's no pressure. To get a nice small curve on the feet, I use a small drum sander bit in my router table. But no one really enjoys sanding, so let's just move on.
Now with all the mitered corners on that box over there, it's going to be a little bit hard to clamp up. So what I'm going to do today is show you the blue tape trick, where I basically just fold the whole box together and it makes the clamping way easier. So let's check it out.
To do this, all you need to do is line up all the pieces exactly where you want them, apply tape at each joint, and then fold the whole assembly up. And if you found that tip helpful, consider hitting the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell if you'd like to see more of my videos in the future. Thanks. I let the glue set up in the clamps overnight and then removed the tape the next morning. The last thing that I need to do is cut a piece of plywood down to fit inside the box and then attach some foam to that piece.
So honestly, I thought there was going to be some weird chemical reaction between the spray adhesive and the foam, so I decided to do a little test.
We're going to find out the truth right now.
It's good.
It's good. It's good.
After a little bit of polyurethane, this dice tray was done. I hate to admit it, but it was fun working with a new type of wood. It's like pizza. Sure, I'm down to try your fancy pizza place with toppings that I can't pronounce, but at the end of the day, I'll still prefer my rundown pizza joint that still reeks of cigarettes 15 years after they banned smoking inside.